Hi, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today. So, today I am going to discuss the Friendship Nine. I'm looking at all the old buildings. These buildings have a lot of secrets. So, I'm imagining that the college students walked up. And of course, Rock Hill looked nothing like this back in the 60s. Probably a very segregated city. But this is downtown Rock Hill. And I'm imagining they walked up. And the fear, the adrenaline that was going through them. And this is where McCrory's was, right here. This is the building of McCrory's. It's now no longer McCrory's, of course. This is the building of the old McCrory's. This is where the sit-in movement, jail, no bail started. Once the students arrived at McCrory's, they ordered food and drinks. And so what happened was the police came and these students got arrested on the charge of trespassing and ended up going to jail. And so once the students were in jail, they had their court date and the judge said, you know what, if you give us $50, you can go home. And they were like, no, we're not going to give you guys $50. We'll go to jail. And so 8 out of the 9 individuals decided to go to jail instead of paying the bail. And the reason why one student decided not to go to pay why he decided to pay the bail is because he had a scholarship, and a lot of times you can lose your scholarship if you have something on your record. And though this is not their fault, he was still very concerned that he could lose his scholarship. So that's very understandable why he paid the bail. So Once these students decided we're going to go to the work camps, this is where the slogan "Jail No Bail" originated. And you guys, this was huge part of the civil rights movement. Huge. It ended up actually becoming something everyone decided to do. So let me tell you the strategy of why they chose jail no bail. Number one, it helped alleviate the financial burden of groups like in the NAACP, SNCC. Those were the groups that got a lot of these students out of jail, and also it helped to alleviate that financial burden of parents. A lot of times the parents couldn't afford the bail, or they had to sell things like that in order to get their child out of jail. So that helped. Number two, it filled up the jails. Not only did it fill up the jails, but what happened was it ended up becoming national to the point where more students, more people were coming down to Rock Hill, South Carolina, and they were integrating McCrory's, shipping them right to jail. And they also denied their bail, went to the work camps. And you had national figures like Diane Nash who came down. And also, this was a part during my research that I didn't know about, but also while they were in jail, a lot of them protested through fasting. Didn't know that. So on top of a work camp, they also protested by fasting. And I just want to remind you guys, this was all just to sit at the lunch counter, because during Jim Crow South, Black people couldn't sit in the same areas of white people. They either had their own section of the restaurant they had to go to, but they couldn't sit at the lunch counter. And also, they may have to go through the back of the building in order to get food. If they couldn't sit in the restaurant didn't allow it, they would have to take their food with them. So this was huge, and this was just a catalyst of the many things that were about to be integrated. But this was the start.